Hi, this is Steve for TrueHollywoodTalk.com. We're with Monty Miranda. He's the director of a hot movie called Skills Like This. I want to give him a warm welcome to TrueHollywoodTalk.com. How you doing, Monty?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Wow, this is a hot movie. How did you get involved in the project?
Producer in Denver. I'm originally from Denver. We shot the film in Denver. Donna Dewey had wanted to make a film for quite some time. We had commercial production companies, and through a friend of Donna's, Paul Aaron, we both got the screenplay for Skills Like This and read it, and I got the first draft and just really fell in love with it. That week we came out to meet the screenwriter Spencer Berger and one of the other actors in the film, Gabe Tagerman, worked on the story as well. And so we came out to meet those guys when they were doing a sketch comedy show called After School Special with the great acronym ASS. And so met the guys, hit it off really well with them. The following day, we did a table read and just sort of started to see the project come alive. That said, we knew that we wanted to develop the screenplay a little further. And at that point, Spencer and I went to started collaborating on the development process. Spencer being based in Los Angeles and me being based in Denver.
How did that work? You're the director, he's the writer. Did you basically, because the writers are sensitive and he's also going to be an actor in the movie, how much did you have to change the script from your viewpoint as a director?
Oh, we collaborated pretty well, and through the tutelage of our producers and our own sort of thoughts and ideas, we just dove into it. And when Spencer and I first met, we hit it off really well, and we became pretty fast friends. The first draft of the screenplay was something I could really relate to. I knew those characters. I grew up sort of like that, and I was at that existential moment in my life, like the Max character in the film, where I knew what I wanted to do with my life, but I didn't necessarily know how to do it. And so that was a spark in the screenplay, and that's what made it a movie I wanted to make.
How did you know you wanted to be a director growing up? You were watching movies. What got you waking up one day and saying, I want to be a film director?
I discovered my parents' Super 8 movie camera, and literally at like 8 years old, I started messing around with it, and it provided hours and hours of entertainment. And I sort of would get distracted and bored with certain things that I would try, but I never lost that interest in filmmaking. And it's constantly a learning process, which compelled me to keep doing it. In school, I went to CU Boulder. It was then when I sort of realized that people actually made a living making movies, and as director, somebody has to do it. And I sort of had the naive thought that, well, why can't I?
Do you think it was film school that makes someone a good director, or is it just people tinkering around saying, I want to make movies?
Oh, there's some amazing filmmakers that, are not educated in the traditional sense, but I think you learn it. It's a process. You surround yourself with talented people, and they inspire you. You study work, so you study life, and so I think there's a million different ways that you can approach the filmmaking process and become a filmmaker.
All right, what's your 3 favorite movies of all time?
Oh gosh, I couldn't name 50. I couldn't name 50. Well, I could do I'm a big Danny Boyle fan.
He's amazing.
He's absolutely amazing. Slumdog was just a terrific film.
I thought Sunshine was a very underrated movie.
Oh, it's a beautiful film. I think, yeah.
Gorgeously shot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful film. And
first choice, okay.
And I wouldn't say it's a first choice, but it's probably in the last couple of years, it's one of my favorite films. I'm a Hitchcock fanatic. I've studied his films as much as any filmmaker.
So you don't mind if I pour ice water over your neck while we're...
Okay. God.
Admit it definitely worked in that shower scene.
Yes, absolutely. It's like almost too many. There's some exciting filmmakers out there now, and
who do you look to as a director? What was your style? Clint Eastwood's a first take director. Are you someone that collaborates with the actors? Are you a John Cassavetes model? What is your model as a director? Do you want collaboration, or are you a benevolent dictator?
Oh no, collaboration for sure. Absolutely. And a lot of times the way I like to work is the actors bring their game to the set, and if you. It's been said many times before, but if you cast the film properly, you've done most of your job with the actors and directing. And
how'd you cast the film?
cast film partially in Denver and partially in Los Angeles. The 5 leads, with the exception of Carrie Canupi, are all cast out of Los Angeles. Spencer Berger, Brian Phelan, Carrie Canupi, Gabe Tigerman, Ned Bellamy, and Marta Martin. Out of those 6 leads, the Carrie came from Denver. We looked at Carries all over the country. Carrie was one of the first that I saw in a casting session in Denver, and I just kept going back to her because
Was it your gut feel? Was it her? She's got an amazing face. We know that. Is it just something you looked at her and you just felt that was the girl?
She had to be kind, and you had to trust her, and also understand that she would fall for this character who's at odds with his life at the time in the film. And Carrie, to me, felt like that person, and that she could represent that character the best.
You said it was a 17-day shoot. What was the budget for the film? What did you shoot it on, and how'd you light it? What kind of crew did you have?
We had a wonderful crew. It was a short schedule. The movie was $1 million budget. The film was shot in HD and also motion picture film. We shot all the max crime scenes in film. I wanted a different aesthetic look to the robbery sequences, as I did for the rest of the film. So whenever the character Max, it's a subtle difference, and when you're looking at it on a print projected, it's a pretty subtle aesthetic. But I just wanted that kinetic energy that was a little bit different than the robbery sequences.
Film's got a good soundtrack. Who did the sound for the movie?
A lot of those artists are Denver-based bands, with some international known bands like New Order and The Wedding Present and Motion Worker, but the bulk of the soundtrack are wonderful. Denver, Colorado has an amazing music scene, and they're friends of mine and musicians that I've but spent years listening to, and I'm sort of in awe of their talent. So most of the film is it's made of pop songs and rock and roll songs. And
when did you know you had a good film? As soon as you started looking at the dailies, or you walked out that you were shooting? Like, when did you know, hey, I think we're on to something good here?
Oh man, I think when you lock that screenplay, and then when we shot a movie trailer to raise money for the film. I think when we shot that trailer and people started responding to the trailer, and that's what we used. Yeah, thanks. So then the trailer I'm talking about is the one that got raised the money, which will ultimately release on the DVD. That first trailer. But we shot the trailer before the film existed, and that trailer, people started responding to it, and so that's what gave me that passion, and everybody got really excited then.
2 more questions. Number 1, how did you get distribution? That's a very difficult thing for filmmakers, even if they have a good film. Okay, and how do you recoup your $1 million investment?
Oh, that's a good producer question.
That's my MBA in finance background. I don't use that much of being a talent manager anymore, but we got to ask who paid for it and how they get their money back.
Well, the distribution came. We won South by Southwest Film Festival. We got a lot of, and at the time, our sales reps, Cinetic Media, started negotiating for the best deal for us. And in the meantime, I went on the festival circuit and took the film around the world. And fortunately, we found a great distributor and that just really loved the film and had passion for the film. And ultimately, it lies in the hands of the distributor getting it booked in as many cities as possible. And our distributors, for a little indie film, we're going to be in I think probably at least 100 cities, and hopefully more.
So you've been traveling first class around the entire country?
I wish. I don't even know what that seat area looks like.
Tell me, what's your next film, okay? And make sure you put Carrie Canupi in there, okay, if you want to see this interview. All right?
Okay, absolutely. Spencer and I are working on a new project. It's a spooky comedy, and that we hope to make with many of the same cast members that we did with Skills Like This. The cast on Skills was amazing, and I look forward to working with all of them again, honestly. And then,
why horror?
We want to make a film. I don't know. It's something that fascinates me. I'm not necessarily a huge horror genre fan, but we thought that it's something. It's another challenge.
Well, if it's as good as The Thing, then we'll call it even. Okay, if it's as good as The Thing, one of my all-time classic horror movies, one of my favorite underrated actors, Kurt Russell. I want to thank you, Monty. You've been a delight coming on TrueHollywoodTalk.com, and I want to wish you continued success in make sure that the wife keeps treating you well, okay? All right?
Okay, thanks so much, Steven. I appreciate the time.
Watch out for Monty. This is a hot director, and he promised me Carrie Canupi would be in his next movie, so we're going to hold him to that. This is Steve for TrueHollywoodTalk.com.